Who is the best in the West? Let's rank those QBs in the Sun Belt West. It's the Locked On Sun Belt.
You are Locked On Sun Belt, your daily podcast on the Sun Belt Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sun Belt, your teams every day. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. All right, we will try to make ranking 7 quarterbacks into 2 segments. We'll do a little softball tourney results. Only 2 games on a Wednesday. 1 is done. 1 is ongoing. We'll get to that later. And then we'll see if we have any baseball results to let you know about. The game plan for Friday is Tim Beck from Coastal Carolina. We'll see if that works out. A couple other coaches didn't quite work out this week. We'll see if they work out for next week. Life is all about making the adjustments. All right, so this was actually asked to me about who are the quarterback competitions, and there just isn't that many. South Alabama is one, probably. I guess, and Texas State seems to be one of them. That's about it. Probably not Louisiana, although I'm sure Walker Howard has to win the competition, but I have a feeling he will. But instead of doing that, and there's just not that many competitions, at least in the West, figured we rank them. All right. And you're welcome to fill me in on what I got wrong and transfer portals. I went to the ULM website. They didn't have a roster. There is no roster on the ULM website for 2025. So I had to go back to 2024, see who went into the transfer portal. We're going with what we got. All right. So again, someone's got to be last. Someone's got to be first. I don't mean to be picking on anybody. But here we go. So we'll rank the first 3 or 4 in the first segment, and then we'll do the rest in the second segment. So 7th is going to be, and we're presuming he's the quarterback. All right. But I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to go with him. We're going to go with Aiden Armenta from ULM. Really played well in spots last year, right? That got ULM 5 wins, got him a big win over JMU. Had a lot of help with Ahmad Hardy. Unfortunately, he transferred to Missouri and did not have a lot of help on the offensive line and needed some more offensive weapons. Now, I do know that, well, I don't know this. I looked it up, that Isaiah Velez and General Booty did hit the transfer portal. So I'm presuming it's Aiden Armenta is going to be a quarterback. He transferred in from New Mexico, and he was the quarterback last year, and I presume he's going to be the quarterback this year for Brian Vincent of ULM. All right, I'm going to believe he's going to be the guy this year for ULM. See if we can get some more help. Didn't seem like they did a whole lot of recruiting or transfer portal this year. We haven't had Brian Vincent on. We've tried to get him on about, playing footsie with Jacksonville State, stayed. Not sure what the plan is for ULM this year, but I got Aiden Armenta as the 7th quarterback in the Sun Belt West. The 6th quarterback, and this is really based on potential because that's all we have, and we love his name. All right. The 6th quarterback is going to be Troy's Goose Crowder. How can you not love a guy named Goose Crowder? Got hurt early on last year. The other quarterback transferred. He ends up transferring to Texas. Is it Martin Caldwell? He's going to sit on the bench at Texas, which isn't the worst thing in the world. He's obviously not going to play. But Goose Crowder is the guy. And remember, we were all about, again, we've discussed this many times. I'm much more of a reasons than excuses guy. And Troy got all banged up. Martin was their third quarterback. They got all kinds of offensive line issues. Chris Lewis was hurt. Running back went to the NFL. So there's all kinds of reasons why Troy wasn't quite as good as they were the previous year. But, they came up. They almost beat Arkansas State. Did a number, I guess, on Georgia Southern. They were right there with the Cajuns in the fourth quarter. We definitely, for a while, forget about, they didn't even see the tunnel. Forget about the light in the tunnel. And then all of a sudden, we saw a light. We saw the tunnel, and we saw the light in the tunnel. So we'll see if it all comes together in year number 3 or year number 2 for Jared Parker. And we'll see if Goose Crowder can stay healthy. All right. Presume he's getting the job. I'm sure they brought in some other guys, but I'm going to presume that Goose is the guy for Troy this year. All right. This is the big change in the Sun Belt West. All right. Coming up, South Alabama, Bishop Davenport and Zach Pyron. All right. This is where we're going from Gio Lopez, who signed it. I mean, it sounds hilarious and ridiculous, but he signed a 2-year, $4 million deal with North Carolina. And so we're going from probably the top quarterback in maybe the Sun Belt, if not G5, to Bishop Davenport, who put on a show in the bowl game, and Zach Pyron, former Georgia Tech and Minnesota quarterback, who transferred in, I believe, after the spring. So I don't know if Zach's going to get the gig. He's got a lot to learn. Bishop filled in admirably last year when he could. And then obviously did a really good job in the bowl game, giving a victory when, again, South Alabama won with no Fluff Bothwell, no Jamal Pritchett, and no Gio Lopez. So they didn't have 3 of their top offensive weapons, and they still won that ball game with Bishop Davenport leading the way. But they're going to be 5th. We just saw more what Bishop can do. I don't have any idea what Zach Pyron can do. I think he started like 1 ball game in his career for Georgia Tech. I have more trust in Major Applewhite than I do in Zach Pyron, but I did see what Bishop Davenport can do a little bit more than, say, Goose Crowder. All right, that's why South Alabama is 5th ahead of Troy. And South Alabama's offense has been really good since Major Applewhite has been there. So we presume, it may be a bad presumption, but usually they can get an offensive line, they can usually run the ball, and they usually find a wide receiver, from Jaylen Wayne to Jalen Tolbert to Jamal Pritchett. It just goes on and on and on. All right. We will come back after this, and we will go through the top 4 quarterbacks. I don't know if the number 1 is going to be a surprise. I sort of give it away from champ to last, but tough to go against the guy who won the Sun Belt Championship last year. I will tell you about that after I tell you about Game Time. There's nothing like the atmosphere of an NBA playoff game. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge. It's electric in the arena, and with Game Time, you can be part of it without the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. Game Time makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets, even when demand is sky high. Prices on the app actually go down as tip-off gets closer, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Last-minute deals. Last year, I got second-round Knicks-Pacers tickets for my nephew's high school graduation using Game Time. He loved it, and it was a great experience, and Game Time made it so easy to do. The all-in pricing, man, no surprise fees, checkouts. You see what you see is what you pay. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. All right, let's do the rest of the ranking of the quarterbacks. I don't know if you're just joining us. I don't know who joins in the middle of them. It's not like a radio show. It's not, but ULM was 7th, Aiden Armenta. Troy Goose Crowder was 6th, and the South Alabama competition, Bishop Davenport and Zach Pyron are 5th. Going from Gio Lopez to a quarterback competition. We'll see if Zach Pyron can push Bishop Davenport. That would be impressive if he did, actually. All right. So I would presume, at least heading into fall camp, it's Bishop Davenport's job, and Zach Pyron's going to have to be really good to win that job. Maybe in combination that Bishop Davenport would have to be bad, which I don't think would be the case, but it takes 2 to tango. All right, number 4, and we're doing this more on G.J. Kinney's offense necessarily than who's playing, because we got a lot of potential here, although we do have some experience. All right. Texas State. We do have I think we have a quarterback competition here. Nate Yarnell is a transfer from Pitt. He's got plenty of experience. Holden Grenier has been Mr. Potential for a long time. It's been so long. I was doing radio in Alabama when he was getting recruited to Auburn, and now he's at Texas State. All right. Just couldn't get on the field with Hugh Freeze's team, and now he transfers to Texas State. Again, he was a big-time recruit to Auburn, and he's got a ton of potential. We shall see. Brad Jackson is the freshman recruit, I guess. We'll say high school recruit, not freshman recruit. High school recruit that could be the first high school kid to start for G.J. Kinney. He's only been there 3 years. It's not like it's make it out to be a decade. He's been there 2 years, and he's had 2 transfers, right? So I would presume it's most likely 3. You got a lot of experience with Nate Yarnell. You got Mr. Potential in Holden Grenier, and you got the youngster Brad Jackson. So plenty to choose from. And as is mostly the case, you're going to need someone to play. And so it would appear that the Texas State quarterback room is solid in case of an emergency. So we have them 4th. They're always going to put up numbers. He's got a great offense. We'll see if they can maximize that potential and take it to the next level, which they, frankly, they did not last year, right? They were good, right? And again, we kind of like that Arkansas State basketball and Texas State football are the same way and others kind of poo-poo their success when it's not quite as good as it should have been, or I will rephrase that, could have been, right? We expected Texas State to win the West. They didn't. They've gone to back-to-back bowl games, and they've won 2 bowl games. That's pretty cool. All right, when they've never been to bowl games. Nobody's been jumping in rivers before G.J. Kinney got there. So they're jumping in rivers, right? Arkansas State's winning, not to go off the deep end, but Arkansas State's winning 25 basketball games in the year, selling out the arena. It's a really good job, right? It's a really good job by Brian Hodgson, who's now at USF, all right? So sometimes we don't reach the expectations because those expectations have been raised so high, we don't realize we're doing better than we did before. Not a little bit better, a lot better. Now, we'll see. Again, I'm still a big believer. Same coach, same quarterback. G.J. Kinney hasn't had that yet. He may be able to get that with Grenier. He certainly could get it with Brad Jackson if he has him for a couple of years. I would be surprised if Jackson is your guy. All right. Number 3, and this is all about potential. All right. And it's kind of the turning of the guard with the Cajuns. Let's remove this. There you go. Walker Howard, Louisiana Raging Cajuns. And I will apologize to him. I'll apologize to you. We're going to call him Howard Walker throughout the year. I'm going to screw up his name. He's got, his name is backwards. Basically, it's not 2 last names or 2 first names. His name should be Howard Walker. It's Walker Howard. All right. Sorry, Jamie. All potential. And I think I missed him playing for STM. he started, I think, in 19 when I went to Mobile. And he's winning state titles for the team in Lafayette, who I used to cover, where Tiger and Jack Besh played. I covered them. I missed Walker Howard. Okay. Walker may have played with Jack 1 year. I'd have to go back and see if that works out. All right. So obviously he started out at his dad's alma mater at LSU. Jaden Daniels wasn't supposed to be quite as good as Jaden Daniels was. So he's now not only there for 1 year, he's there for 2. Then he transfers to Ole Miss and didn't work out there. I'm going to go home and play. Still has 2 years of eligibility, and we'll see how it goes. Mr. Potential. All right. He's a man. He's 21, 22 years old. We'll see. I mean, he worked behind Jaden Daniels. He's worked with Ole Miss, and we'll see what he can do with the Raging Cajuns. It's kind of, the turning of the guard with no more Ben Woldridge anymore, and kind of the offense is going to be flipped from where it's been for the last couple of years, and we'll see on how Walker Howard does. But I'm presuming he's the guy. You do have Lunch Winfield there and Daniel Beal. We'll see if those guys stay, because Walker's got 2 years. Daniel Beal is a big-time recruit from Catholic in Baton Rouge, and we'll see how the portal thing works out, because Daniel's going to have to wait until his redshirt junior year to play, if he does at all. But I think Walker Howard is the third-ranking quarterback in the Sun Belt West. Number 2 in the West is going to be Jaylen Raynor with Arkansas State. He had a fantastic season last year. He did exactly what we wanted him to do. When the game was on the line, we saw the best of Jaylen Raynor. He saved the day numerous times last year against Central Arkansas, against South Alabama. He was really good when the light shined the brightest, if you will. Now, this year, we want to see greatness, I guess, more consistently. That's kind of ridiculous, but they shouldn't necessarily be in those we need a great drive at the end of the game type of situation from Raynor. Needs to play better sooner and put all this experience together. And, Arkansas State is definitely, with Gio Lopez leaving, they are definitely the preseason favorites in the West. That's what I would think. And we'll see how Jaylen does, but I would put him as the number 2 quarterback in the Sun Belt West. Really excited to see this. This is his 3rd year. You don't often see quarterbacks in college football with the same coach entering what is basically his 3rd full season. What did he come in his 3rd game in his college career? And, he could play all 4 seasons there. We're going to see him. I want to see him take a big step forward and lead Arkansas State to what could be one of those magical seasons. We'll see, right? Chris Rucker came back, the wide receiver. It could be a really special year for Arkansas State and Jaylen Raynor. All right. The number 1 quarterback, not necessarily the number 1 team, but the number 1 quarterback has to be Braylon Braxton, Southern Miss Golden Eagles. He won the championship last year for Marshall. He was the Sun Belt Newcomer of the Year. Now it's big-time challenges. He doesn't have Michael Green on the other side of the ball to bail him out if he makes mistakes. He's got a lot of his teammates coming with him. I think I got 15. I counted 15 Marshall players going with him there. He's got his coach. I think he's the number 1 quarterback, and I think Southern Miss will contend in the West. May not quite go their way. We'll see how good the Cajuns are. But to me, they're the big wild card. The Cajuns and Texas State are the big wild card. I don't think South Alabama is going to be nearly as good as they could have been without Gio. But, I think A-State's going to be good, and we'll see how good Texas State is and the Cajuns. I mean, otherwise, Arkansas State may run away with this, but Southern Miss may be their biggest competition. Southern Miss may be the biggest competition for Arkansas State. We'll see how good the Bobcats and the Cajuns are. But it's tough to put the quarterback who led the team to this conference title as anything but number one and the newcomer of the year. So quickly, to recap, ULM, Aiden Armenta, number 7. Troy's Goose Crowder, number 6. South Alabama's Battle, Bishop Davenport, Zach Pyron, number 5. Nate Yarnell, Holden Grenier, and Brad Jackson from Texas State, number 4. Cajuns, Walker Howard, number 3. A-State's Jaylen Raynor, number 2. And Braylon Braxton, number 1. Those are my rankings. Let me hear what you guys think. You might switch Braylon Braxton and Jaylen Raynor. Again, you may be confusing the teams with the quarterbacks. That could happen. And you may put Walker Howard lower. Who knows? All right, there's different ways you can go. But I don't think I'm too far off. Let me know what you guys think. All right, let's check out what's going on in baseball and softball on a Wednesday night as we're talking on Thursday. Do that right after I tell you about Amazon Fire TV. Did you know that your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed. And as easily as you can stream your favorite shows, it's gaming made simple. And it's all on your Fire TV. Latest technology for elevated playing with Wi-Fi 6 and 6E, auto low latency mode, advanced technology. Fire TV Stick 4K delivers smoother, more responsive gameplay with lightning fast speeds, and for you to stay competitive. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. All right, earlier today in the softball, we did have Coastal Carolina knocking off Southern Miss 7-2. That was game 1. So that was the 7 seed, I believe, knocking off the 10 seed. Yes, it was. Let me see if we got the scorecard here. Coastal took control right from the first inning. 3 runs in the first, and that was basically all she wrote. Coastal's Picone throws a complete game, goes 7 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, 5 Ks, scatters 6 base hits. So she pitches very well. Roos goes 3 for 4 with 3 runs batted in, has a double and a home run, also scored twice. So that was your Coastal Carolina ball game. We do have, as again, it was 7 p.m. Central Time. It's now a total of 8:30 Central Time. Let's see what's going on. I don't care. I'm going to give you a game it's in the middle of it, but it's ongoing. James Madison taking on Troy, and it's a good one. All right. It is the 8th seed Troy leading the 9th seed James Madison 2-1, top of the 5th. Troy with a run in the first, run in the third, and JMU scratches across a run in the 4th. So they are just a little bit more than halfway through, obviously, and they got a good one in game 2 of this championship of the tournament. Just to make sure where we're headed here. ULM. Oh, no. Marshall is taking on Coastal Carolina. All right. They were the winner earlier, which is interesting. And Texas State is taking on the winner of Troy, James Madison. I guess Texas State would have gotten the lower seed is what happens. Okay. So that's what happens. Okay. So Marshall will take on Coastal Carolina. So Thursday, it all starts off first thing in the morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. Cajuns taking on App State. And again, we went through it in yesterday's episode. Cajuns have played or won the championship every year for decades, since 2014. That's amazing. Haven't won it every year, but have played for it or won it every year since 2014. If they don't win it this year, it'll be the first time since 2012, 2013 that they've gone 2 years without winning it. That's completely dominating. And obviously they did not win it last year. Texas State is your defending champions, probably going to win it this year, but we'll see. I think I read the Cajuns have won 9 out of 10. All right. And they finished fourth. Did I say that? No, finished third. They are the 3 seed. All right. Marshall, the number 2 seed. Marshall gets Coastal Carolina at 1. Texas State does get that 4 p.m. game. And then ULM is taking on Georgia Southern. Troy is the host, so they don't get much of a say outside of playing in the second game tonight on Wednesday. They don't get much of a say. A lot of times, so I used to know Paul Maneri would want to play the early game on Fridays in case it rained, like in the regional at LSU. I ain't waiting because we want a big crowd. I got to worry about the weather, and so I'm going to play a little earlier in case it rains. I got to worry about what's best for my team. Sorry if I'm disappointing the crowd. So he would play early in the day. In this case, Troy doesn't have a say on when it is. Cajuns would usually the Cajuns would play and wait for that 7:00 game. When's the last game? 7:00, but that's usually not going to start until 8:30 Central Time, if you're lucky. So, all right, baseball wise, real quickly. Let's see what we got here. We had a few ball games midweek. Maryland beats James Madison 6-4. And that was in Harrisonburg. Troy and Samford are going at it in Birmingham. Troy had an early lead. I saw that one. Let's see what it is now. That's in the bottom of the 9th. Troy leading 9-4 over Samford. And let me see if I go to Twitter for ODU baseball, because they're played. ODU beat VCU 8-2. All right. So nice win for the Monarchs. Hey, they got themselves, again, someone asked me heading into last week if they got a shot at a 6 seed. I didn't think so. And this may have been after they lost to Marshall in the first game. They're playing the hottest team in the conference, one of them anyways, and now they do. All of a sudden, they got an odd RPI. They don't even have 20 wins, and they have a shot at a 6 seed. Not going to be necessarily easy, but they have a shot at a 6 seed. And they got James Madison. I mean, James Madison took 2 out of 3 from Georgia Southern. But Old Dominion is tied for 5th with Texas State. And they're playing James Madison. Texas State's at Georgia Southern. I mean, if you're ODU, you got to take 2 out of 3. James Madison's got an outside shot at getting into the tournament. James Madison is 2 games behind Marshall, who's 10th. So I guess that, he got an outside shot. I mean, if James Madison wins back-to-back series, they may actually get in. We shall see. All right. Again, the plan for Friday's episode is Coastal Carolina's Tim Beck, putting it out there. We'll see if it happens. If it doesn't, c'est la vie. Also, for us Blues fans, Samantha Fish playing in Louisville Thursday night. May go catch that. So we'll come in, do the Tim Beck interview, and then go see a little Samantha Fish. So that may be fun as well. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. Back to work tomorrow. It's been a couple of days. It's nice having a couple of days off in a row. Really didn't do much except lose about 4 or 5 pounds. So it's pretty cool. Everybody have a tremendous Thursday, and we'll be back with you again on Friday. You've been watching Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks so much.